Have you ever noticed how most people love to talk about their plans, but few actually put them into action? It's almost as if the simple act of sharing what you're going to do gives a false sense of achievement, a momentary relief that ultimately robs you of the strength needed to turn ideas into reality. The more you talk about your plans, the less energy you have left to carry them out. True power lies in the silence of action, not in the noise of intention. Think about it. How many incredible projects have you told someone about and then dismissed as if you'd spent all your energy just announcing them? This is the trap that sabotages dreams and imprisons people in the illusion of progress. What differentiates those who go further is precisely this ability to shut up and act, to exchange empty words for concrete results. And that's why I want you to enter this video with an open mind, because today we're going to expose an uncomfortable but necessary truth. Talking too much can be the biggest thief of your future. From now on, each word here will be like a mirror that will force you to face your own attitude, your own excuses, and especially your own habits. But calm down. This isn't to feel guilty, it's to awaken. I want you to feel this provocation as an invitation, not an accusation, because change only happens when you accept to look at yourself honestly. So before continuing, comment silence below if you've ever realized that talking too much has held you back at some stage in your life. Do it now, because this comment will be the first step in your commitment to change. It will be the sign that you're determined to exchange chatter for real results. This interaction is more than engagement. It's you declaring to yourself that from today onwards, you will no longer waste energy on promises that never come to fruition. Imagine what your life could be like if, instead of announcing each step, you had simply taken the step. The impact would be immense. And that's precisely what we'll explore together, how to silence the external world and listen to the inner voice that only awakens through action. This video isn't for those who want to be comfortable, it's for those who want to grow. And if you're here, you've already proven that you're part of that select group. So, if you truly want to break away from the crowd of talkers and join the rare group of doers, stick with me until the end. Because this reflection will change the way you view every word that comes out of your mouth and every action you decide to take. Have you ever stopped to think that every time you open your mouth to share a plan, you're not just sharing an idea, but also handing over a part of your power to others? The danger of speaking too soon is real and unspoken. When you expose your plans before you've made them a reality, you leave yourself vulnerable to criticism, envy, and unnecessary pressure. Someone might laugh at your idea, another might say it won't work, and even those who seem supportive can plant small seeds of doubt that erode your confidence. The human mind is fragile in the face of other people's opinions, and even without realizing it, you begin to carry the weight of external expectations, which often paralyzes your action. The Stoics warned that we must be careful with what we share with the world, because a misplaced word can become an invisible prison. It's as if each opinion were a chain that binds you more to the judgment of others and less to your own path. And if you've ever experienced this firsthand, you know what I'm talking about. So comment power below. If you understand that energy wasted on speaking is energy stolen from execution. This simple comment will remind you that your strength lies in preserving your plans until they are strong enough to stand on their own. Beyond criticism and envy, there's another poison few realize: the pressure you create for yourself by announcing your intentions. It's as if every word you speak becomes a silent charge, an extra weight that forces you to show results, even when you're not ready yet. This isn't motivation. It's a burden. And the most dangerous thing is that often this weight doesn't come from others, but from yourself, who begins to feel shame, anxiety, and even fear of not living up to the expectations you created. How many times have you promised something in public and then backed out, only to carry the guilt of not having fulfilled it? That's where silence becomes golden because it preserves your freedom. While you act in silence, no one holds you accountable, no one interferes, no one sabotages you. You move forward lightly, without the need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. This is true self-control, not letting your life be guided by the vanity of announcing, but by the discipline of building. If this resonates with you, comment power now, because I want to see who truly understands that keeping things to themselves is smarter than spreading plans that are still in the seed stage. This comment will mark you as someone who chose to protect their own energy rather than wasting it on empty promises. And there's a third crucial detail. When you speak too soon, you give away not only your energy, but also your strategy. Think about it. The world is full of people who don't want to see you win. By exposing too much, you leave room for someone to copy your ideas, steal your originality, or even use your own words against you. Have you ever noticed that the greatest achievers in history preferred to remain silent and only show results after they were achieved? This isn't coincidence, it's wisdom. Silence protects, speech exposes. When you reveal everything, you give away your power to the opinions of others. This statement is harsh, but accurate. Keeping your plans secret isn't out of fear. It's wisdom and strategy. It's like a warrior who doesn't display his weapons before battle. He only reveals them when it's time to fight. So if you understand the danger of speaking too soon and realize that silence is a powerful weapon, comment power here in the comments. I want to see who's committed to exchanging words for action, who will turn this reflection into practice, who will leave the group of talkers and join the group of doers. And stay with me until the end of this video, because this is just part of the Stoic path that will show you how to transform your energy into real results, protecting your mind, your plans, and above all, your destiny. How many times have you shared a goal only to feel the momentary relief of hearing someone say, "Wow, that's amazing," or "It's going to work, I believe in you"? This is the sound of approval, and it's seductive but also dangerous. Many people don't realize that by seeking validation before the moment, they're already reaping part of the emotional reward that should only come with achievement. It's as if the brain is tricked by receiving praise before even taking action. You feel pleasure without having made any real effort, and this weakens your discipline. The Stoics knew that true merit lies in the practice, not in the audience. If you seek applause before victory, you may never reach it. It's like a runner receiving a medal at the start. They won't have enough motivation to run to the finish because they've already tasted the taste of achievement before earning it. And the truth is harsh. Many give up because they trade the silent satisfaction of building for the empty sound of immediate approval. If this has ever happened to you, write validation here in the comments, because this public recognition will be a reminder that you are determined to trade applause for discipline. There's also a psychological side to this noise. When you accustom your mind to depending on external recognition, your every step becomes a kind of spectacle. You no longer act because it's the right thing to do, or because it's part of your growth, but because you want to show someone something. This is an invisible prison where your willpower is held hostage by the audience. If no one applauds, you lose your rhythm. If no one comments, you think it's not worth it. If no one approves, you give up. The problem is that life wasn't designed to please an audience, but to fulfill what's necessary for you to evolve. Discipline is born in silence, when no one sees, when no one applauds. The training done in the dark, the late-night studying alone, the effort no one posts on social media, that's what shapes character. That's what transforms a person into someone truly strong. But when you let yourself be carried away by the noise of approval, you create a dependency that undermines your discipline day after day like a slow poison. So I want you to reflect. Are you doing it for yourself or for the gaze of others? If your answer is honest, you'll realize that you often sought recognition more than results. And if that resonated. Write validation in the comments now, because that word will be like a break in the invisible chain that binds your discipline. The third point is that this noise of approval, besides sabotaging your discipline, also deceives you about who you really are. When you present your plans and receive praise, you begin to believe you're already that successful person, but in practice, you haven't achieved anything yet. It's a dangerous mask, because you start living off the image of what you intend to be instead of committing to the effort necessary to become that person. It's like a sculptor who shows off the block of marble saying, "Look what an incredible statue I'm going to make," and receives applause before even touching the chisel. The risk is that he'll never pick up the tool again because he's already felt the glory of the finished work, even before he started. If you seek applause before victory, you may never achieve it. True victory only comes with sweat, patience, and silence. So if you've already realized you've fallen into this trap, write validation right now, because by commenting, you're not only engaging with this video, but also publicly declaring that you're willing to stop seeking approval and start seeking results. And remember, the sound of approval may be sweet, but it's the silence of discipline that builds greatness. Those who understand this begin to free themselves from the addiction to validation and begin to live focused on what truly matters: action. True power lies not in announcing what you intend to do, but in building, step by step, what will one day amaze the world. The Stoics taught us that virtue needs no audience and that greatness is measured not by the noise of words, but by the weight of actions. A Stoic doesn't announce. He practices, he conquers in silence and lets the facts speak for themselves. When you act this way, you remove your ego from the equation because you're not seeking applause, approval, or empty praise. You're simply dedicating yourself to what matters, the daily practice that strengthens your mind, disciplines your body, and shapes your character. This philosophy is liberating because it frees you from the need to prove anything to others and puts you in a position of power where you don't need to speak because the results already speak for you. Silence isn't passivity, it's strategy. It's in silence that you focus your energy, organize your steps, and direct your strength toward what truly matters. And I want you to make this commitment to me now. Comment action below if you prefer to prove it in practice instead of making promises, because this comment will be your way of declaring that from today on, you choose results over speeches. The silence of action is even more powerful because it shields you from distractions. When you don't announce it, no one gives you an opinion, no one gets in the way, no one creates expectations about what you haven't even started yet. You walk more lightly, without the burden of proving anything to anyone. This is the Stoic path, cultivating discipline in silence and allowing the fruits to appear naturally over time. It's like planting a tree. You don't need to shout to everyone that you're watering it. You just need to care for it daily, in silence, until one day it grows and the fruits are visible to all. The problem is that we live in an age where most people want to show off every step, as if they need approval at every moment. This isn't strength, it's weakness. True strength lies in enduring the discomfort of not being seen while building, knowing that when the time is right, the results will appear with much greater impact. The Stoicism of silent action is the art of cultivating patience, consistency, and focus without giving in to the childish desire for immediate recognition. And if you already understand this difference, comment on action right now, because this word will mark your commitment to exchange the noise of promises for the silence of discipline. And the most inspiring thing of all is realizing that this silence isn't empty, it's full of purpose. Every late night you work alone, every workout you sweat in with no one to applaud, every page you read in silence while the world distracts itself, all of this is building a future that will speak louder than any speech. The Stoic knows that life doesn't require announcements, it requires practice. That's why he focuses on what he can control: his habits, his discipline, his constancy. He doesn't need to say, "I will change," because he's already changing. He doesn't need to affirm, "I will achieve," because he's already achieving, day after day. And it's precisely this silent practice that separates those who dream from those who achieve. So, if you feel ready to take this step, write "action" in the comments now. This simple gesture will be your anchor, your public reminder that from today on, you will be remembered not for what you promised, but for what you did. Remember, words convince, but it's the silence of action that conquers. The world may doubt what you say, but it will never doubt what you prove. Have you ever noticed how silence is often not just a choice, but a true life strategy? The value of the hidden strategy is precisely this: to protect what's still under construction, shield your dreams, and keep your energy focused on what truly matters. Not everyone needs to know your steps. Sometimes the less they know, the further you go. This is because every time you reveal too much, you open yourself up to distractions, criticism, and even envy. Silence acts as a shield, an invisible layer that protects your mind from the weight of external expectations. The Stoics understood that the secret to progress lay in focus and discipline, and that talking too much was handing ammunition to the world. When you remain silent, you keep your focus sharp and your direction clear, without letting external noise contaminate what you're building. And I want you to make a commitment right now. Comment "strategy" below if you've realized that remaining silent is protecting your dreams. This comment isn't just engagement, it's a reminder that you choose the protection of the hidden strategy over the waste of exposure. Strategic silence doesn't mean isolation or weakness. It means intelligence and preparation. Think of a chess master. He doesn't announce his moves. He observes, calculates, and acts at the right moment. Life works the same way. If you talk too much about each move, you lose the advantage of surprise, give away your vision before you've even realized it, and end up giving others space to interfere, criticize, or even copy. Hidden strategy gives you the freedom to change course without pressure, to correct routes without judgment, and to move forward in peace without having to prove anything to anyone. Often, it's precisely this peace that separates those who achieve from those who merely promise. When you protect your direction, you avoid the emotional drain of justifying your steps and keep your mind clear to focus on the essential, the silent action that generates real results. And if this resonates with you, write "strategy" here in the comments, because this simple act is your way of declaring that from today on, you will act with stoic intelligence, preserving what is still emerging within you. The most powerful thing is that the hidden strategy creates impact without extra effort. When you finally show the result, it comes loaded with surprise, respect, and authority, because no one expected it. While many spend energy announcing, you build in silence. And when the fruit appears, it speaks louder than any promise. This is the difference between those who seek approval and those who seek fulfillment. Silence is not empty, it is preparation. It is the space where you strengthen your roots before showing your branches. It is the calm before the storm that no one foresees, but which arrives with full force. Not everyone needs to know your steps. Sometimes the less they know, the further you go. Remember this phrase every time you feel like announcing something. Ask yourself, am I speaking to advance or just to feel approval? The answer will show you whether you are on the path of strategy or vanity. So, comment "strategy" below if you're committed to protecting your dreams with silence and focus, because this commitment will reinforce your mindset that silent discipline and hidden strategy are the keys to achieving much more than those who waste energy on the noise of promises. The world doesn't need to listen to your every move, but it will respect every result you deliver. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how many times you said you would change, that you would start, that you would achieve. The world doesn't remember what you said you would do. It only remembers what you did. And that's the stark, truth that separates those who talk from those who do. Words may impress for a moment, but results last forever. When you achieve something, there's no argument against the facts, no criticism that can erase the reality of your achievement. That's why the result that no one can deny is your greatest calling card. It's what speaks louder than any promise. The Stoics always taught us that virtue lies in action, not in proclamation. Greatness lies in proving it in practice, without needing to justify yourself, without relying on approval, without seeking applause. Because when you deliver results, even the most skeptical have to acknowledge them. So comment result below if you believe that achievements speak louder than speeches, because this comment will be the first step towards internalizing this mindset and putting action above promises. The most interesting thing is that the result not only silences criticism, but also inspires. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that no one remembers who said they were going to start a business, but everyone remembers who actually did? No one applauds someone who says they're going to train, but everyone respects someone who shows up in shape after months of discipline. The result is undeniable. It commands respect, it generates natural authority without the need for empty personal marketing. When you show the fruits of your effort, you don't need to convince anyone because the result is already the proof. It's like a seed planted in silence that over time grows so much that it cannot be ignored. And this is what I want you to understand. The greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, and philosophers weren't busy announcing what they would do. They were too busy building, and when they finally showed their work, there was no room for doubt. That's why discipline and the silence of preparation are worth more than any pretty speech. If you've already noticed this, write result here in the comments, because this act will be the symbol of your commitment to stop advertising and start proving. And there's one more fundamental detail. Results don't need to be explained. You don't need to justify, argue, or try to convince. When you achieve something, the whole world sees it, and there's no room for denial. This is the force that transforms lives, the constant practice that builds facts, not promises. The speech may be moving for a few minutes, but the results move forever. When you understand this, you begin to value the process, the daily effort, the silent sweat, because you know that this is what will build something real. The world doesn't remember what you said you would do. It only remembers what you did. So, guard your words, protect your plans, and focus on action. If you believe that achievements speak louder than speeches, comment result below, because I want to see who is truly committed to exchanging noise for impact. Remember, a speech can be forgotten, but a result no one can deny, and when you get there, you won't need to say anything, because your life will be living proof of what you achieved with discipline, silence, and constancy. Doing in silence isn't hiding. It's protecting. It's acting without distractions. This is the essence of Stoic philosophy applied to modern life, understanding that true value lies not in what you say you'll do, but in what you build every day without needing an audience. Silence doesn't mean an absence of action, but the presence of focus. It's in silence that you find the strength to resist external pressures, the anxiety of showing immediate results, and the temptation to seek validation at every step. Those who achieve in silence never need to justify themselves, because the result justifies itself. When you act this way, you not only preserve your energy, but also gain freedom. The freedom to change course without pressure, to evolve at your own pace, to grow in peace. This is the true Stoic strategy, tending your garden in silence until it blooms so strongly and beautifully that no one can ignore it. And the most powerful thing is realizing that, in this process, you don't need to prove anything to the world. You only need to prove to yourself that you have the courage, discipline, and consistency to transform intention into achievement. Now I want you to be part of this commitment to living with more action and less talk. If this message resonated with you, please like it because it helps the video reach more people. Share it with someone who talks a lot and does little, because perhaps this is exactly the reflection they need to hear today. And comment achievement below to show that you chose to act in silence, keeping your plans, protecting your dreams, and proving in practice that results speak louder than any promise. This comment is not just a gesture of engagement. It's your declaration that you're ready to join the select group of people who build, rather than just announce. Remember, a Stoic doesn't waste time on empty speeches. He practices, he achieves, and when the world finally sees, there's no need to justify anything because the truth is already there for all to see. So, if you've made it this far, this is your calling. Choose the silence of discipline, the constancy of action, and the greatness of results that no one can deny.